or offensive. And sometimes if you have too much of one on a team, even if they're all amazing players, they don't click very well. So every now and then, you get something like Team Secrecy, 3 players that all their play styles just mesh really well together, and all of a sudden a team that you didn't think you'd see come out of nowhere, I don't want to say out of nowhere because we've seen them all, but coming out pretty strong.
Yeah, certainly is one of those stories that you want to keep up with when it comes to Team Secrecy, as we are going to get into this, our very first game. And what a great touch there that was from Matsunaris. But Team Secrecy are going to start off their season on the defensive side as they're going to try and clear this one away from their own half. We're going to have an opportunity now to see how Kaunos are going to go about their offense. Are they going to try and come out with those team plays earlier on, or are they going to try and feel this one out and see what Team Secrecy does in response?
Kaunos has to be careful. They're waiting a bit too long to contest this. Looks like Team Secrecy has had all the time in the world to get those last 4 touches with no contest. They did a good job of keeping it away from the defenders and not on target, and just saved out by Zensis.
Yeah, and this is an entirely new stage for a lot of these players. You have to get used to the nerves that come along with playing on the RLCS broadcast. As Matsunaris going to find a way through. And that's gone a long way there. Dan's Hizzle gets that one away as Magnus going to continue to try and apply the pressure. Here comes Niels Cook. Tries to get it past, but just too heavy on the touch to try and get it past Matsunaris. Magnus looking for a lot. Goes early with the shot. It's stuck in to the bottom of the goal.
A lot's placement has been something we've seen since, I don't even know, probably season 1. But take a look at the placement on this. Perfectly in the bottom left corner. That honestly couldn't have squeezed in any tighter. Maybe with a little bit of butter on the ball. Only way.
Only way indeed. Great start there for Team Secrecy. And they all look to try and continue this one onwards as Magnus has got himself a great shot, and that is 2-0 in quick fashion.
Looking for each other. This is what I like to see out of these top teams. Immediately, a lot is gonna. He did a good job of killing it for Mets, and then Magnus comes up right away, trusting each other. And we saw Mets starting to rotate back a lot, making sure he was that third target, making sure he was ready in case it came back out. Immediately off the kickoff, that's difficult to do.
Yeah, that's just proving how perfectly a kickoff can go for you if you can just win it and put that cheating player coming up into a bad position. And Team Secrecy going to look to continue to capitalize. They are not letting off the pace here at all. Trying to just completely overwhelm Kaunos. Niels Cook over to Dan's Hizzle, who clears that one away. Only to Magnus, who's got it over to a lot.
Ooh.
A lot cannot get a hold of that one, but after that earlier redirect, you're going to let him off on that one indeed. A lot clears that one over to the corner. It's him versus Dan's Hizzle. He's going to look for the setup, looks for Matsunaris. Matsunaris off the backboard. No one there for the follow-up. Magnus staying back, knowing he's got 2-goal lead. No reason to overdo it.
No, we're starting to see Kaunos come out a bit more, come out a bit quicker. They're starting to contest it. We don't see nearly as many shots as we did early on. I mean, already we have 6 shots from Team Secrecy, but I think almost all 6 of those were just as that second goal came into play.
And if you're Team Secrecy in this one, as we're going to see them try and go coast to coast here, oh, that's a bit of a difficult bounce for them to deal with. Going to be no follow-up on that. If you're Team Secrecy, do you continue to just try and put in maybe 4 or 5 goals? Or do you just rest on this and allow Kaunos to sort of ease their way into this? As Dan's Hizzle gets his shot blocked by Magnus a lot. He's going to take his time. He's got himself boosted. He knows he can go for the block, but Zensis there on time. Magnus should be able to clear that one away. Over to Matsunaris, who doesn't get that one. Off the backboard, here's Dan's Hizzle. Hits the post. As Kaunos still trying to prod away for their first goal of the season. 2
fantastic attempts from Kaunos. Right now it is accuracy that is cursing them. I think if they can clean that up, they would have had 1, potentially 2 goals by now to tie it up. So it's looking good for them. Just got to clean up the shots.
Matsunaris going to challenge Zensis as Dan's Hizzle clears that one away a lot. Just trying to find the corner. He's going to follow this one up as well. Well played there by a lot, showing some of that mechanical skill that he does have. As Kaunos, they've managed to get that one past. No one in net. Matsunaris cannot get there, and Kaunos, they brought this one back.
I think you pronounced this, is it just Niels Cook?
It's Niels Cook.
Niels Cook. Okay, I knew I'd probably butcher that, so thanks, Shogun.
Why are you asking me for pronunciations? That is the worst idea.
I mean, we're in the European region. This is your specialty.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
I can barely speak English, right? This is not going to go well for us at all, if that's the case. Either way, 1 goal separating these 2 teams as Niels Cook took his time waiting for that one, managed to bait in a lot. And now Magnus has got to chase backwards because he's got Zensis trying to chase him down and wins the race on that with a block and a clearance. And now they can go onto the counter-attack. Magnus looks for the backboard, tries to follow it, gets that one down. Great play there by Magnus, just couldn't quite find the angle. And Kaunos, they need to sort out this defensive rotation. This is why a shot comes in. No one was back. Thankfully for them, it was not on target.
Going from offense to defense, Kaunos seems to be struggling a tad bit. They don't know what balls to contest and what to confidently go for. It seems a few times Team Secrecy has had just a full open pitch when trying to convert it from defense to offense.
Well, they went back here because a lot has to try and get that. No one there to follow that one up, though, and Zenzus gets the rebound, 2-2.
And that's how Zenzus ties it up, gets it contested there. I really like that. Niels Cook went to go get the 50-50. He knew he wouldn't beat out the defender, but he just made sure to keep it there. Don't lose any ground. It stayed right there. Not a great save. I believe it was by a lot in net. He couldn't get a lot of power on it because he was standing still. He didn't drop back into net and then tied up the game.
Kaunos have managed to claw this one back from 2 goals down. Impressive work by them so far. They're going to try and make it 3 goals on the trot. As Niels Cook gets it through, almost managed to thread the needle. Here comes Magnus. Tries to go for the long clearance. A lot you can see loitering quite often towards the middle area on the field, trying to get those redirects, trying to just misposition the ball away from Kaunos. That shot might come in from Zenzus. Magnus is going to get himself up just in time, looking for a lot, who's just going to go for the safety clear over to the side.
I hope Team Secrecy doesn't underestimate Kaunos too much when they're on defense. Their defensive rotations seem a little bit slow, a little bit lacking in time right now, where no one's going to be taking this from net. Magnus has to take it across, and that's the risk you take.
Team Secrecy, a lot of these clearances seem to be still ending up in danger areas for them, but they won't mind that for the time being a lot.
Whoa.
Oh, hit the arc. Yesterday during NA, we saw that arc towards the top of the goals really coming through to give us a lot of goals. This time, Kaunos have come back from 2 goals down, and they might be on to win this game.
Looking for his teammate from the side, Niels Cook out to Zenzus. He just gets there in time. A lot thought he had it, but fell a bit short perfectly on the left post to get them the lead with only 9 seconds left. Kaunos might be surprising us.
Dream start for them for this series. That is a shot on goal, not quite on target. That would have tied this up for Kaunos. And now Team Secrecy, for a game that it looked like they had in the bag, have let it go, and that shot was not on target, hits the floor. Kaunos with their first win.
Already messed up the desk predictions. We saw a 3-0 prediction, and now it's looking like Kaunos, even though they were down and they were in the very beginning, I was a bit worried. They seemed a bit slow. They were letting too many things go uncontested in their own half.
Yes.
But once they picked up that pace, I think Team Secrecy really underestimated them once they put it onto offense. A lot of these redirect, these passing plays, I just don't think Team Secrecy was prepared for it. I think it's Kaunos, a team that really we haven't seen a lot. The names here in the RLCS, I think they just weren't really ready.
No, maybe not, but that opening minute or so told us that Kaunos maybe wasn't ready. As soon as that second goal went in, though, someone must have told them, just switch it on, lads. We are here to play on the biggest level. And they suddenly did. We can see the shots here. Complete blowout when it comes to shooting. Kaunos were all over Team Secrecy. End up taking the win. Great comeback by them.
And Team Secrecy, we know they have the talent. I mean, Desk is saying they're a potential top 3 team.
Yes.
I mean, they've got it. But as we've seen so far in the RLCS here, in Season 3, everyone's got it.
Yes.
Everyone can prove it any given day, and so far between yesterday and even just right now, this very first game this morning, it seems like there's no slowing down. Everybody wants to make sure they take these wins. So I think, especially with teams that came in kind of on that lower rung or that everyone isn't expecting to win, those are the ones you really have to be careful for, because those are the ones everyone expects you to get the win for. But these are also the teams that want to do, they see bullseyes on every top team. They're like, I want to be the guy to take down these monsters. I want to be the underdog hero.
Well, can Kaunos continue their momentum from the last game? They currently have 3 goals in a row that have been unanswered by Team Secrecy. It's a brand new game, and we are on Manfield for it. Metzenaris going to try and get that one over to the corner. Here comes Niels Cook. But the pressure's still coming out from Kaunos a lot. Gets that one over to the corner. They can follow that one up. But that's an unconvincing clear from him. It's going to allow the team play to come out. Niels Cook gets that one across and just taken away by Metzenaris. Now this is great 1-2 play here coming out by Team Secrecy. But you just feel a little bit nervous when you see Team Secrecy in defense. Like, their ability to clear the ball hasn't really been that impressive so far. And they find themselves in a lot of defensive situations that they can avoid. Speaking of which, Niels Cook almost passed that one into the field of a lot. As Magnus shot on target, is anyone back for that? Almost squeezed that one through. As Niels Cook will happily clear that one away.
Speaking on Team Secrecy defense, it appears they really like to look for each other as opposed to the hard clear, which I like 80 to 90% of the time, but every now and then, sometimes safety is worth it, especially if you're starting to get struggled on boost. You're losing some resources. Sometimes the hard clear is worth it just to buy you a little bit of time. But I do like that they keep looking for each other. Look at this, already a passing play on defense, right back to a lot again.
Yeah, just trying to keep that one away, trying to put neilscook through the ringer and make him dance. As Magnus clears that one to the side, a bit much slower start to this game as both these two teams finding their feet. As we see two players go for that, Magnus has still not hit the floor after his teammate hit him, and that might cost them only a lot left back in defense.
I don't know why I've always found it really entertaining when a teammate just sends his ally to the moon. Magnus got literally cleared. He actually landed on the opponent's wall before he hit the ground, and that left their net just a bit too wide open. And I really like seeing that it got capitalized. Kaunos saw that moment. That was a bad hit, and somebody just got sent to Kingdom Come.
Ball's up high. neilscook has to try and deal with a lot. That's going to be cleared away. No one challenging this. As Zenzus just gets that one to the corner. It's going to allow his team to pick up some boost. Dance Hizzle can put some pressure on this. That's an early shot from him. Could potentially have put that one off the back wall instead. As we see Team Secrecy, they keep doing this. They're sending two players to the same ball for the clearance. And that's going to open up yet again. More danger coming through from the same mistake.
A bit antsy to come out of net. We just saw it there right now. Already both coming out. Magnus going to the corner. At this point, I think it's safe, but they seem too quick to want to get on offense. They know they've got the skill to make some really nice offensive plays, but sometimes their defense suffers for it.
Well, it's going to be a nice clearance away from neilscook. Trying to look for Dance Hizzle.
Oh, there's the pass.
Oh, Magnus, he's going to have to try and deal with that. Bad first touch from him, but he's done well. Here's 3 touches in a row from him. But it's going to allow Kaunos to put some pressure on. Metsunara is going to try and clear this away. And Kaunos start to come further and further up with their pressure. Not wanting Team Secrecy to go for those clearances, especially when they now know how Team Secrecy are going for those passing plays. Dan trying to get up there, but Magnus, long clearance from him, no one back. Metsunaris takes the shot on target, and too far up for Kaunos cost them.
I like that Kaunos was covering a lot of ground and being aggressive, but right there where neilscook positioned himself, he was a bit too far up and to the right. He needed to notice the defender was coming from right to left in the net, so the ball was either going to go above him or to the left of him. He wasn't in a position, and he was the last man that left it wide open for him, tying up the game with just over 2 minutes left.
Smart play there, leaving one player down the field. Get a hold of that clearance. It was a great strategy there, and one that's working out at times for Team Secrecy. They've picked up 2 goals. As Dance Hizzle goes for the dribbling play, tries to go the whole way, but reacts a bit too early. 2 players from Team Secrecy did jump for Dan's play, but they managed to recover just in time. Dan now gets that one up, over to Zenzus. Zenzus misses the ball. That's going to allow Team Secrecy, as this game is even, as we head to the final minute and 45 of this, over the top of a lot. And into the corner. Kaunos and Team Secrecy. It's been a much slower game than the one previously. As Team Secrecy's attempts, they're still laying off this ball, and that almost got blocked and dunked into the goal. And here's neilscook to turn that one in. Team Secrecy holding back too long.
It started with an accidental mind game there from Zenzus by just whiffing the ball. The 50-50 from Dan Zizzle was phenomenal. He just put it right over a lot. It almost went in off that first touch, but then by then they pulled out enough defenders, they baited enough, and with Team Secrecy's rotation on defense, since it's been a little bit lackluster, they were able to capitalize again.
Well, Team Secrecy now going to try and blitz out into this goal area. As the ball up high, now Kaunos. I've got 3 around, all in capable positions of reacting, as they still hold the lead in this second match. 1-0 up in games, as a lot clears that one. Magnus tries to chase it, but neilscook right next to him, not allowing him to move at all. It's going to allow Kaunos to get this one onto the counter-attack. And they are just aiming to clear this one away. It's now going to be open. neilscook could have got hold of that. Dan getting an extra bit of contact that did not help his team, but they are still up.
Was a good idea. I think if neilscook had waited for that, or if they'd communicated it, it would have been fantastic. But without communicating that, they both went for the same ball.
Dan's by himself here. Magnus goes for the shot, puts it up off the crossbar a lot. Just too far to the right for him. Puts that down off his wheels and not quite on target. 35 seconds remaining now. Kaunos still in the lead, puts it off the crossbar, as Magnus doesn't want to allow any rebound plays to happen. Now Metsunaris still staying up in the field, but the problem is when they leave players upfield, they're not capable of moving, not able to get to these balls first. The defender always coming to take it away from them.
Kaunos is actually really impressive right now. If you look at the balls they're contesting and how they're interrupting all the passing plays from Team Secrecy.
10 seconds remaining in this matchup. It's going to be open shot. Going to bounce off the side. Here comes Magnus, shoots it, puts it high, hits the crossbar, possibly leaves a dent in the poor thing. And we're coming towards the end of this matchup, and who would have predicted this? No one on the desk.
Definitely not. It is now 2-0 in favor of Kaunos. Magnus has to be punching himself. He had that last opportunity. He had that last shot. No one would have saved it if he had just put it a little bit lower, just a little under the crossbar. As you said, though, denting the poor thing. It's quite a slam up there. I mean, it's hard to say. I think Kaunos right now, I'm really impressed. Team Secrecy seems to be a little bit slower than what I've seen them doing, especially on defensive rotation. And Kaunos is catching them off guard. I think that just the solid rotations and their ability to think right now and interrupt is like blowing it out of the water.
I think what we're missing right now from both these teams, though, is some of those passing plays. We're seeing a lot of launches downfield. That is obviously one form of passing play, but there's no real variety in the whole thing. Both these teams have obviously got places they can go, but right now, the way we're looking at it, the way we're going with these back and forth plays, that really does suit Kaunos. They're much stronger at that because it seems like their defensive positioning, they're happy to sit back a little bit more, get those clearances, work from where they are in that position.
I mean, just to kind of go back to the topic we had at hand, just as we were getting started, the way teams play sometimes can counter each other in accident. There are some plays that do really poor against hard clears and really fast rotations, right? Right now, it's looking like Team Secrecy, particularly in this series, their defense isn't as strong as I've seen in the past. They seem to be rotating a little bit slower. They're a little too antsy to get in a net. And Kaunos is just waiting for the opportunity to do so. They have no problem dropping back, getting on defense. And right now, as you said, not a lot of creative passes coming from either side. So Team Secrecy isn't catching Kaunos' defense off guard either.
Seems to be using a lot of that backboard. We're going to see if Team Secrecy can pull off the G2. We saw it yesterday. Spoilers, by the way, on that one, but what a series it was.
It's been a day. There's no spoilers after a day.
You can't, like, if you haven't heard of it, you did a very good job, actually, of just avoiding all sorts of social media. As that ball's going to be put up high, Team Secrecy still in danger here. Zenzus going to come forward for it, using the sidewall. That's going to put it dangerous. We're going to see the third rotation coming in from Niels Cook, who had to do it a bit too quickly. Now a lot could try and pressure this one. Zenzus had to react quickly. And Kaunos in bad positions here. Can they deal with this? Almost managed to squeeze that one through. Dan's Hizzle with the block and the clearance away by Zenzus.
Oh, is this open? This is almost open. Magnus is the last man standing. He'll get dunked by Niels Cook. He did his best. He did his darndest. But Niels Cook baited him out, then positioned his car. So I'll take a look at how he put it. He made sure to keep his car behind that ball. He did a single jump. He didn't use his second jump. He wanted to keep control of his car. He knew it would be getting put right back into him, and he dunked it right through him.
Such a smart play there. And Team Secrecy find themselves down yet again. What a great touch there by Magnus. I think he pinched that between himself and the wall. I haven't seen something like that in a very, very long time as Niels Cook, trying to find his way through a lot, just bashes him away and says, mate, we're not doing this anymore. Magnus goes for the shot, puts that one up high. Niels Cook, the one that was bumped, was the last person in defense, couldn't get to it.
A nice solid midfield shot. I thought he was actually going to reach it in time, but take a look at this. Niels Cook just landed, tried to recover. He had to slam on his brakes, but that means he lost all of his momentum. So he had to use all of his boost to try and regain the momentum, but it takes a bit too long. Couldn't reach the crossbar in time, tied up with 4 minutes left.
And that was some of that shooting accuracy that Team Secrecy were missing in the previous few games. Finally coming out with a laser beam into the net. See the backflip there from Magnus. As Metsunaris puts that one up high, looking for a lot. A lot's going to try and tap that one down, but not quite going to get it. Two players, all the players actually from Kaunos are out here. They need to reposition themselves because they've got to deal with this, and they have not done it. Magnus going to be given the credit for that one.
Seems like Team Secrecy realized they got nothing left to lose. 2-0 down in the series. Magnus takes a pretty tight angle, and I thought Zenzus had it, but a lot flowing in, I think, made him hesitate a bit too much on that save. He didn't know if a lot was going to push it to the side, hit it harder, so he tried to read the player instead of the ball, and it just squeaked right by.
Yeah, if you see a lot flying at you, you usually tend to predict that he is going to hit it. And speaking of which, Zenzus going to get that one off the crossbar.
Ooh.
No powerful shot coming through there. Magnus goes for the pass. Great pass there from him to Metsunaris, who that's going to go in. Metsunaris, the accuracy on that shot.
All three starting in net, and look at how quick Metsunaris put himself in a slightly cherry-picking position. Magnus puts it across. We've seen Team Secrecy looking for each other, particularly on defense. That's when it works out. The moment that they've just dedicated a bit too many players to their offensive opportunity, Team Secrecy has the capabilities to push it right back.
Well, they were much smarter on that one because they took time to dribble it beforehand, baiting out some players on Kaunos, and that's a mistake there from Zenzus. Can they make it free? Hits the crossbar. Metsunaris going to come in. And that is another goal for them. Team Secrecy bringing it out here.
It's hard to figure out what's going on. I think Kaimanos is getting a bit flustered. We just saw a missed touch from Zensis. They were really consistent going all the way up to this game. They are 2-0 up in the series. Now they have some padding, but when you know you're that close, and now you're down 3 goals, granted there's still a lot of time left, but I don't see Team Secrecy making the mistakes to give this lead up.
Well, that's a bit of a dangerous touch there, and a lot has to come through and help his teammate clear that one away. Zensus and the rest of Kaunos will not give up on this match. Dan's Hizzle and Niels Cook end up ramming into each other. So that's going to be cleared over to the side. Team Secrecy continuing to apply the pressure onto this one. Bump there from Metanaris. Not going to end up being too difficult. What a great redirect! Redirect of the tournament right there.
That has to be one of the nastiest redirects I've ever seen. And you know what they say, the best goals are always own goals. Look at this touch. Oh my God. That's actually unreal. If anyone pulled that off offensively, I would just walk off. I'd be done.
We need to get in contact with production and see if that's actually allowed to go in for the top 5 plays, because that deserves it. Zensus is actually going to put this in. Is that it? Oh my goodness. 1 goal separates these 2 teams.
What happened here? Magnus and Alat both going for that, and a very unfortunate touch from Alat, putting it right back center. Zensus noticing that net wide open, puts it to the left as well, keeping it away from the defender. In those panic moments, kind of panic moments when you see an open net, I'm really glad to see players still acknowledging, like, all right, I should probably at least put it somewhere away from the potential defender.
Well, Team Secrecy was a laughing matter when we saw the own goal in. Not so much anymore. 1 goal. And they could lose this. Now they make it 2. They are going to be very happy with putting that one in.
Kaunos on defense. Look at this. Dan Sizzle was in net, and that was him coming after that while no one took his spot. Niels Cook was in a tight spot. At that point, Dan Sizzle, you probably want to wait. No one's going to take the shot from that corner.
No.
And you have to make sure no one can beat you to the ball. So if you're not certain, just wait. Just wait for the touch off that backboard. Try and beat it. I know it's more difficult, but it's a safer option, especially if you're the last man on net.
We've only just gone over halfway in this game. 8 goals scored so far. And it's potential for even more. Metsunaru is going to try and chase this one down. Can he put this one underneath? Team Secrecy have regained their 3-goal leads.
I don't even know what to say right now, man. Just some weird back and forth open nets. Dan Zitzel. I mean, there's really no way he was going to say that. No. And I can't go back far enough to know what happened there on rotations, to know who did or didn't go back, or why they were so far up without a lot of control. You know, Shogun, if you're going to put that many people that far up, I mean, you should probably have control of the ball.
You probably should, but we've managed to get ourselves our 10th goal in this game. 2 minutes remaining.
I don't even know what to say about either team right now. This is weird. Magnus was there, and he did slide in. I don't know, man. This is getting weird.
This is certainly a weird one, but
this is getting real weird.
Importantly, Team Secrecy are still winning. They are holding on here, and they don't care how scrappy it is. They need a win. Otherwise, Kaunos will take their first series of European League play. A lot going to try and get up to that one, but Zensus beats him quite comfortably. And now Kaunos, 2 goals back on this one, can try and claw this one back. As Dan's Hizzle misses that, tries to pass it out, but everyone in Kaunos is starting to rotate back on the ball. And I think this is the longest we've gone actually without any goals. Oh, wait, what was I saying? Oh, hits the post. And Kaunos still trailing.
Zensis does want to go for the shot. He might get the angle, but a bit too wide. A difficult opportunity. And look at that. Team Secrecy all flying out from net right now. Mets going for it. A lot following suit. Oh, I thought that was actually going to go in.
The
way this game's gone, I wouldn't have been that surprised.
Just tap it towards the net, and I really reckon it would go in. Zensus gets that one up a lot. Has that one covered pretty early. Impressive ability to read there.
Oh!
Not only do we get a goal, but we get a flying player just coming up here. Take a look at this.
They are now 1 point away from tying it up. Did Danzizel hit Magnus?
Yeah,
oh my
he is
God.
out of here.
He sniped him out of the air. That was actually really impressive. And we are now tied for the most goals ever scored in a single RLCS game.
We're going to go above it. We know we're not going to go above it if we continue like this. Magnus, can he get the record breaker? No, he cannot. Zensus doesn't want to allow him. Metsunaris puts this one up. Can he go off the crossbar? Metsunaris continues to try and follow it. Incredible game we have seen here. Goals galore. And have we got one more? A lot. Gets that one off the side. He's got no one to challenge him. Puts it. Hits the crossbar. Record averted so far. Team Secrecy, though, 1 goal is all that separates them and potentially losing. And that could be it. That's going to be launching all the way from the other end of the field. A lot has that one covered.
That was close. Still only 1 goal down. Such an emotional roller coaster this game has been. Everyone's been down by 3, 2 goals. Still somehow almost catching up, but 20 seconds left. Can they do it?
16 seconds remaining in this one. Zenzus gonna launch the last potential opportunity. Bounces off the side. Dan's Hizzle gonna try and go for the dribble, but a lot has that one covered early. Niels Cook puts that one long, and they're gonna have to try and press this one. Metzenaris will not push this one out, but he's had some difficulty with this. Followed up by Dan!
Oh!
Not in.
So, I don't know what I just watched.
I mean, what part of that do we analyze?
It almost felt like an all-star match.
Yeah.
Where they're like, let's just score a bunch. I don't want to get hurt on defense.
I mean, look at those saves. We've got 11 goals coming out, and across both of these teams, they only managed 5 saves.
How many shots is that total?
That is
like 12 shots for Team Secrecy.
2, 3, a lot. That's a lot of shots.
12 shots for Team Secrecy and 8 shots for Cow-Nose. And
20 shots across
5
both
saves total.
Yeah, they did not prove to be defensively sound.
I think they made an agreement before. They're like, let's try and break that goal record really quick. Let's do everything we can to just let a bunch of goals in and have some fun. I don't know. It was very uncharacteristic from both teams from what we've seen so far this series. But Team Secrecy stay alive. Can they do a reverse sweep? Will we see another situation like we saw yesterday, Shogun?
We very well could see that sort of thing. Team Secrecy, the important thing, yes, they picked up their win. Wasn't convincing by any stretch of the imagination, but they are going to send us to game number 4. And we're going to see a redirect on the screen right now. A little bit of a slow-mo on this one as well. Take a look at this.
Was this the?
I don't know. This was a goal.
Yeah.
This happened.
Boom.
Oh!
God, look at that. It's gorgeous. Like, I know it sucks, but it's also one of the most beautiful things I've ever watched in my life.
Take a look at this one more time.
And
then... Boop.
Oh, it's like that angle is almost physically impossible by any standard of this game, and he managed to pull it off on his own net. Poor guy.
And after the amount of goals scored in the last one, it has started to go into the next day. We are still on Urban, but now on Urban Dawn. As Magnus going to try and chase this one down. Team Secrecy trying to complete the reverse sweep. Can they do it? We are going to find out as a lot puts that pressure on nice and early. Zenzus, good clearance from him, and Magnus just tries to find the corner. And after a definitely unorthodox game that we saw previously, what do these two teams need to do? Do they need to slow it down, or do they just want to keep trying to outscore each other?
I think they have to recognize where their teammates are. A lot of it just seemed like they didn't know when they should be dropping back, who should be in net, or who should go for what. It's been a bit antsy, or they don't trust each other. Both sides kind of conceding to the same problem, because as we saw, almost no defense last game, 11 goals scored total.
Well, we've managed to get towards almost the end of the first minute without any goals scored. As a lot gets that one up on the wall, but he cannot control it. Niels Cook can try and put it off the backboard, but Magnus, you see here, all of these teams not wanting those rebound plays to come through. As Metzenaris is going to try and get to that. Has he got the boost for it? No, he has not. And Niels Cook almost managed to turn that one in. Now Magnus up by himself. He's going past all of the defenders. No. That's an open net, apart from the returning Zenzus, who scrambled his way back.
He can't have much boost now. He's going to pick up what he can to contest this. But that last defender, Dan Zizzle, just buying his teammates time, clearing it a bit. Even if you give up some possession, it's great for your teammates to come back and help you.
Yeah, even 1 second. You can cover a lot of the field in 1 second with these cars, especially with a lot of boost on them. Dan Hizzle looks for Niels Cook. Clears that one over to the corner. What can they do to follow this? Niels Cook yet again has that one up into the air, and a lot. That's not a great touch from him. And Magnus, lucky to avoid the bump that was coming towards him. Now off the backboard, cannot make any contact on that. And now there's a shot coming through. Zenzus had to react quickly to that.
Did a good job of cutting off that angle, noticing the goal, the shot was going to come. Oh, that's going to be a whiff. Now we're going to see a 2-on-2. Oh, Zenzus tried to bait him out, but unsuccessful.
I don't know if we got a chance to see that, but Niels Cook, the player that cleared it, I don't know if he had matrix senses on him or something, but he managed to predict or jump just in time to avoid the bump coming towards him from behind him, as we see a demo on screen there. Dan Hizzle going to try and follow this. It's Metzenaris trying to follow this one up. A shot on target. What a great shot that was. And Zenzus clears that one away. Now he's going to try and continue to follow this off the backboard. Almost halfway through this matchup, no goals scored. It's a nice change, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot different than last game. I expected last game to be a bit of a one-off opportunity for both these teams to kind of just let loose and score as much as possible.
Well, the thing is, usually after those sort of games, both teams will say the same things to themselves. It just says, we're not having that again. Focus on defense a little bit more. So when both teams say it, of course, you're going to have a much lower scoring game as Neoscook tries to put that one on high.
Oh.
And he's got the bait to come out. Dan's Hizzle follows that one up.
I'm actually glad about this goal secure. You could probably try and say goal steal, but I like it. Neoscook didn't get the power on this. He did bait out Magnus, we talk about it. Those shots that are just off target, Jogan, are the hardest ones to read as a defender. You want to not go up for it because you want to wait for an opportunity, but the moment that you mispredict it, you're going to hate yourself.
Yeah.
So you go up just in case, but it hits the crossbar, and then you just watch it slowly drift away from you as they shoot it right past you.
A single tear rolls down your eye. Secrecy are trailing yet again. Zenzus goes for the extra touch onto that. And now all of this pressure coming through. Team Secrecy have dealt with it pretty well a lot. The only player in defense has to try and react. And we're seeing Kaunos leaving more players up down the field, trying to misposition the ball and redirect it.
That ball went unanswered for a long time. Right now it seems like Team Secrecy is the one that is struggling. Look at that, another unanswered one. Magnus has to make a save to the corner. Neoscook beats them first. We have yet to see 2 consecutive touches from Team Secrecy in a while.
We're going to have it on this one. Magnus looking for a lot. Gets over the top, hits the crossbar. Is there going to be any follow-up on this? There is. Dan's Hizzle is in position. Not enough power on that shot. And we are coming towards the end of this matchup. 1 minute and 14 seconds remaining. Still the 1 goal separating these 2 teams. 2 players on the same position.
Oh
Doesn't matter. Dan's Hizzle puts in the rocket shot.
What power from the right side of the pitch. We see Dan Zitzel just come in right over Neoscook. He's like, no, man, don't worry. Don't worry, dude, I got it a lot. Was actually in position for the save, but didn't react in time, was unprepared for a shot of that caliber.
Human reaction speeds can only be so quick, especially against a shot that quick. And a lot and the rest of Team Secrecy have now got themselves a mountain to climb. Did a very good job in the last game to bring themselves into a fighting chance. But now they need to find themselves 2 goals. Zenzus tries to make it free. Lovely little flick towards the end of that, trying to hit them at the bottom of the car. Bit of a Jacob touch was what he was aiming for. There's a lot. Tries to turn that one in. Almost managed to pinch that between himself and Dan's Hizzle. And Team Secrecy starting to find their way through a little bit, but now they've given up possession. Here comes the passing play. A lot has to try and get that one and cut that up nice and quickly.
Both teams seeming to ramp up the passing plays on their opponents' halves. Oh, we can see right now. Was that a bump or did Mets flip?
He just flipped. He just flipped, and Magnus tries to turn that one in. Neoscook just in the way. The shot's just at the defender, and Zenzus this time gets himself a save. Great defense here from Kaunos.
Kaunos somehow being able to keep up right now with the pace of Team Secrecy's offense, and with 4 seconds left, it's looking like they're going to take this series in quite an upset there, Shogun.
Yep, against all predictions, Kaunos are going to take this series 3-1. What a great play there by Kaunos. It was a bit crazy at times, but a win is a win, and they'll take that.
That 3rd game, I think we can all agree to put it behind us, probably.
I mean, look at that. Kaunos getting more saves in that game than both teams did in the last one.
And then both teams consecutively with 11 goals in the previous game. That's 6 saves. Honestly, Kaunos, I am loving this. And we've seen this so far. We saw it a bit yesterday in North America region. We're seeing it now in the European region as well. And I am not surprised, but I'm also, I guess I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy seeing these teams that are kind of new and want to prove themselves, and they're actually just proving themselves right at the bat. They're not waiting to ramp up a few weeks in. They're not waiting until, they get a few heavy losses and then decide, now we should try. Right off the bat, getting an upset, opening up the day. Kaunos 3-1 on Team Secrecy. And even the loss they had against Team Secrecy was weird.
Yep. Yes, that was...
I don't even know what to say about it.
Like you said earlier, equaling the record for most goals scored in a single game. Great start here for Kaunos, getting their first win over a big team.